This is Chapter 7 Review. Number 1. Joanna is flying to Rochester with a suitcase and 12-pound garment bag. She wants the total weight of her luggage to be no more than 50 pounds to avoid paying extra fee. Write and solve an inequality. Determine the weight of the suitcase S Joanna can take. So she has a 12-pound garment bag, and she wants the total weight of her luggage to be no more than 50 pounds. It can be less than, but it can't be any more. So less than 50 pounds. The garment bag weighs 12 pounds. So how much more can she pack so she stays under? Okay? And if we were to solve that, we would subtract 12, and S would be less than or equal to. Okay? And then find the matching answer. Number 2. Stephanie makes $6.60 per hour plus tips while working at the restaurant. On a particular day, she worked 8 hours and made $78.80. Write and solve an equation to determine the amount she made in tips. Okay, so it was $6.60 per hour plus her tips equals $7.80. Okay, so we're going to substitute hours because she worked 8 hours. So 660 times 8 plus T equals 78.80. Multiply this together. I believe you get 52.8. Check my math. 80. And then you're simply going to subtract this to get you for T. T equals. Okay? So after you've worked it out, look at your answers and see which one is best. Number 3. Audrey and her 3 friends each have X dollars. They each spend $2 to get into a fair. Okay, so it's her and her 3 friends, so there's 4 total. And they each spent $2 to get in. Then they combined their money and had a total of $12. How much money did each person have before they went to the fair? Okay, so we had 4 girls with X amount of dollars. And 4 of them spent $2 to get in. And then they were left with 12. Okay, so 4x equals 8 plus 12. X. So we're ending up with 4x equals 20. Divide by 4 because we want to get x by itself. So x equals in dollars. Okay. Number 4. Write a real-world problem that can be represented by the equation 15x plus 25 equals 245. And then solve the problem. A. Anthony has $245 in his checking account. Okay, that matches. Each day he swipes his debit card to purchase his lunch. When you swipe your debit card, that's a negative. Each lunch costs him $5. So none of this is in our equation. B, Johnny is saving money to buy a scooter that cost $120. Well, 120 is not even in our equation. C, Jennifer is saving money for a bike that costs $245. Check. She has 125 saved. Okay, there's my 125 saved. And each week she adds $15 to her savings. 15 times, that would be your weeks. How long will it take her to save enough money to buy the bike? So far that one works. We haven't done our work to see if it comes out to be 8. D, Melissa wants to purchase a portrait that costs $245. She already has 50. If you look in your equation, 50 is not up there. So it has to be C. Number 5. Okay, solve each two-step equation. So I'm going to rewrite it over here so I can show my work as you should be showing yours. Okay, I want to get my whole numbers together first. So adding and subtracting, and it's a negative, so I'm going to add 2 to cancel out. What you do to one side, you must do to another side. X over 8 equals negative 3 plus 2 would be a negative 1. Multiply by the reciprocal. Then you have x equals negative 8. Show your work. Number 6. Negative 8 plus 5, 6x equals negative 28. Again, look for your whole number and get your numbers together. To cancel out, you do the opposite. So I'm left with 5, 6x equals, you have a negative 28 plus 8 leaves you with a negative 20. These 8 positives cancel out those 8 negatives. And then you're going to find your variable. It's multiplying, so we're going to divide, but in fractions you keep it, change it, flip it. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. And x will equal, and it's a negative. Okay? Do your math straight across. 20 times 6 and 1 times 5. I'll give you that one. But it is a negative. Okay? And that is your answer. Number 7. 81 equals 3k. Well, this one's simple enough. It's a one step. Find your variable. See what it's doing. It's multiplying, so you need to do the opposite, which is divide. Okay. Number 8. Negative 11 equals x plus 5. Two-step equation. Get your whole numbers together first. Cancel it out. You need to subtract. What you do to one side, you must do to the other side. A negative plus a negative is a bigger negative. Okay? Number 9. 3j equals 2.7. Find your variable. It's multiplying. So you have to do the opposite, which is divide. So j equals 2.7 divided by 3. Remember, no, I don't have to. Keep it there. Okay, so we're good. Find your answer. Number 10. t plus 16 equals 7. Okay, so I want to get my numbers together, and this is a positive. You're going to subtract. Okay, you have the bigger sign as a negative, so subtract and keep the sign of the bigger number. Number 11. This is when you're going to substitute these in and see which one works. There's no reason you should miss any of these. 4, and then you're going to have 7 minus 1 equals 4 times 8 minus 1 equals 4 times 9 minus 1 equals. Finish this and see which one comes out to be 28. Number 12. 1/2 plus 3/8y equals negative 1. Okay, so again, we're going to fill in the blanks. So 1/2 plus 3/8 times a negative 6 equals 1/2 plus 3/8 times a negative 5 equals 1/2 plus 3/8 times a negative 4 equals. Okay, remember you're going to have to find the common denominator. Okay, and your common denominator is going to be 8. So all these need to be changed to 8. So multiply by 4, and that would be 4 over 8. 4 over 8, 4 over 8. Okay, so then when you multiply these, you can add straight across. Okay, see which answer you get that's correct. That would end up being a negative 1. Number 13. One half x equals 5/6. Multiply by the reciprocal. X equals. Okay, so multiply straight across. Number 14. 0.3a equals 6. A is multiplying, so we're going to divide. A equals. So 6 divided by 0.3, move your decimal over. Okay. Number 15, 6z equals 12. 6 is multiplying, so we need to divide it. Z equals 2. Number 16. 2/3 a plus 6 is greater than 0. So let's get rid of the positive 6. Always add or subtract. So we're going to subtract because that's a positive. So now you're with 2/3 a is greater than negative 6. We need to get it off of a, so multiply by the reciprocal. So a is greater than, and multiply that straight across. Number 17, y is divided by negative 2 is less than equal to 3. To get negative 2 off of y, multiply by the reciprocal, and then you'll have y hold up. Double checking myself here. Okay, we're going to take this negative 2 by the reciprocal Okay, so remember that special rule when you're going to take the negative across, with only division or multiplication, you're going to flip the sign. Okay, flip the sign when you're bringing multiplying or dividing by a negative. Flip the sign. Okay. Number 18. Each deli sandwich made use 1/4 pound of turkey. Tyler started with 3 7/8 pounds of turkey and now has 1 5/8 pounds left. How many deli sandwiches did he make? This one's kind of wordy. I'm going to kind of underline that one for her. We're going to start off with 3 7/8 pounds, and each sandwich is going to use 1/4 pound. And now I have 1 5/8 left over. Okay, so we need to subtract 3 7/8. Subtract 3 7/8. I would turn these into improper fractions. Okay. That cancels out. Bring down your negative 1/4 x equals, and this would become 13/8 because you're going to multiply 8 times 1 plus 5, subtract, and 3 times 8 plus 7, I believe would be 31/8. This would equal negative 18/8. So, change colors. So 1/4 x is going to equal a negative 18/8. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal because it's attached to x. Multiply by the reciprocal, x equals. Now you have a negative 18 times a negative 4. Okay, that becomes a positive 72, and 8 times 1 is 8. Now this is improper, so find out how many sandwiches she can make. Number 19. Y plus 6 is greater than 20. I want to get my whole numbers together. So subtract 6 from both sides, okay? And that would be y is greater than, and subtract 6 from 20, and you'll have your answer. Now then, look at your answers and look at your inequalities. Y is greater than your answer. Can it be this? It has no equal sign under it. So it cannot be this one and it cannot be that one. Okay, it's greater than. Okay, number 20. It's 3x plus 1 equals...
Emily Massengill, if you're still in the building, come to the office. Emily Massengill.
Okay, sorry about that. 3x plus 1 equals a negative 11. I want to get my whole numbers together. So I need to do subtraction here. And that's going to leave you with 3x, because that cancels out. Negative 11 plus a negative 1 is going to make a bigger negative. Nothing canceled out. So that's going to be a negative 12. Find your variable. Do the opposite. So you need to divide by 3. X equals negative 12 divided by 3. Number 21. Edwin's mother is 57 years old. Her age is 3 years more than twice Edwin's age? What is Edwin's age? Okay, well, we know she is 57. Her age is 3 years more, so that's going to be an additional 3 years, than twice of Edwin's age. And that's what we want to find. What is Edwin's age? So 2x, because it's twice his age, which we don't know his age, plus 3. Okay, get your whole numbers together. So we need to subtract 3. Subtract 3, so 2x equals 54. Now then, you need to get 2 off of x. So to do that, since x and 2 are multiplying, you divide by 2. So x equals 54 divided by 2. 22. It costs Guido 20 cents per minute to forward his voicemail messages as text to his cell phone. He already spent $4 in forwarding messages this month. If he can spend $10 this month on forwarding messages, write and solve an inequality to find out how many more minutes he has left and interpret the solution. Okay, so it's 20 cents per minute, and he's already spent $4, so we have to add that in there, okay? And he cannot spend more than $10, but he can spend $10, so it has to be less than or equal to 10, okay? If I want to solve it, we've got to get rid of my 4, and it's positive, so we have to cancel it out with a negative. So we have 0.20x is less than, equal to, and 10 minus 4 would be 6. Now then, I need to get x by itself, and it's multiplying. Do the opposite. So that cancels out. Divide 6 by 0.20. When you're dividing, make sure you move your decimal over. Number 23. Solve each inequality, graph the solution. Okay, so x plus 7 is less than, equal to 11. We want to get our whole numbers together, so we're going to add or subtract first. So we're going to subtract because it's a positive. We want that to cancel out. Subtract 7, and you'll have your answer. So remember, can it be this number? And this line right here says x is less than or equal to your answer. So it can equal to. So that one is not your answer. Because when you're graphing them, if it can be equal to, you must color in your point. Okay? Remember, x is less than or equal to. Last one. I know I went through this quite fast. A basketball game, Benito scored 3 points less than twice the number of points that Carnell scored. Benito scored 13 points. How many points did Carnell score? Okay, so Benito scored 3 points less. So it's going to be a -3. Okay, when you're reading out these word problems, it's really going to help you to do this while you're reading it. It's going to help you set your equation up. So 3 points less than twice the number of points that Carnell scored. Okay, and we know Carnell scored 13 points. So we have 2 times his score, and 3 points less should equal 13. So let's get our whole numbers together by adding or subtracting, and we're going to add 3 because this is a negative. When we do the opposite, it cancels out. We have 2x equals subtract, oh, we're adding 3. Okay, so 13 plus 3 is 16. Find your variable. Ask what is it doing? It's multiplying. We do the opposite, which is division. So x equals. All right. If you have any questions, ask them on Google Classroom or we'll see you in the morning. Now then, for those that are still with me and listening, let me give you the answers. Number 1 should be C. Number 2, B. Number 3, D. 4, C. 5, D. 6, B. 7, D. 8, C. 9, A. 10, D. 11, D. 12, B. 13, D. 14, A. 15, A. 16, D. 17, D. 18, D. 19, A. 20, A. 21, D. 22, D. 23, D. And 24, D. There were a lot of D's as in dog. Okay. Don't tell anybody.